Dustin in Spokane, Washington. Who do you like best rest of season? Stevie Johnson, Jordan Matthews, or Davante Adams? I got to go. Man, that is actually really tough.
Yeah.
It's
That is tough.
Stevie for me.
That's what I was going to say because of the injuries that are just piling up. But what was his final line last night?
I don't
or
think
2 nights
Stevie.
ago?
He got 9 or 10 targets. I'll look up his.
I think it was like 7 for 48.
I'm going to go with Davante Adams.
Oh, a bold choice.
Yeah.
Bold choice.
Yep.
I'm not sure that's going to work.
I feel like we should. Who do you like, Jay?
Honestly,
I'm just
I
curious if you like Jordan
I
Matthews.
like Jordan Matthews. I think
Yes,
Jordan Matthews.
You got it. Oh,
Do we-
no.
Do we have it?
Well, Andy's making a face as if to say either something is very smelly on his side of the chair or
Bermuda Triangle Waterbet.
All right.
So-
that was the very loud version.
Yeah, I'm gonna fix that, guys. Not everything's a perfect, well-oiled machine here at the Fantasy Footballers.
Unless you're talking about my physique.
All right, I've got it in the actual drop board now, so
All right,
that
good.
mistake can never happen.
But yeah,
again.
okay, so we're putting that on the board.
So
Yes, I am
rest of
taking
season-
Davante Adams.
We gotta
Mike
put-
is taking Stevie Johnson, and Jason is taking Jordan Matthews. And
So-
spell that out on the draft board because I've been looking at these, and they're a little tough
Yeah,
to know exactly what's going on.
It's because Mike's been putting them in.
Yeah, because we forget a little bit what these bets
So
take
it's week,
place.
10 through 16? Or are we going 17?
No,
What do you mean?
17 is
Yeah,
that,
that's
that doesn't
garbage.
actually exist.
All right, so 10 through 16. Weeks 10
It's
through
rest
16.
of season.
Well,
Yeah,
I know, but
fantasy
we were
season.
saying
But
what,
the fantasy stats that go into ESPN include 17.
Fine, whatever.
So
I
we'd
don't-
have to
that's
go
fine
do
with
the
me.
math
I'll,
ourselves.
I'll
Let's just-
take 17. I'm not scared.
we're going to have to do the math ourselves no matter what because we're going to have to figure
All right.
it out.
All right, so we've got a bet. By the way, how will we be paying out that bet?
We will be paying out that bet with our free app, The Wheel of
Water.
Water. And guys,
Oh my gosh.
we're watching these videos that people are sharing, and they are the delight of my life. Watching people have so much fun around the country, around the world, making their
I am
bets
searching the hashtag Wheel of Water right
over
now
anything.
to see if there's any new videos.
I saw one that
and
was
there are.
it was
12 hours ago.
Nice.
it was a bet between I believe a husband and wife
Yes.
over bear or bear, the spelling of which is
Oh,
the
it wasn't even football?
No,
That's even better.
You can use this anywhere in life. It's like, what is it? Well, you know, do you want to bet anything?
Well, here's the great thing about it is how many times a day, maybe per day, but per week, you're talking to someone, you want to bet?
Yeah.
And then nothing ever comes of this because no one wants to financially bet on something that is trivial and stupid.
Yeah.
But you can bet with embarrassment
That's
of
right.
watering.
And when you do, please use the hashtag Wheel of Water, one word. That way we can
we
find
want to
it.
see it.
We'll retweet them.
Kyle in Wisconsin. Would you rather have Maddie Ice or Blake Bortles for the rest of the year?
Blake Bortles
Give me
by
that.
far.
Give me that Bort.
Mr. BB.
Board it up. Patrick in Vancouver,
Speaking of-
Canada.
You guys don't watch The Simpsons, so never mind. But we're all out of Bort license plates. That's for the Simpsons fans
Okay.
out there.
Where's the cricket button?
Someone laughed.
Where's the
Someone
cricket
laughed.
Twitter
Pat-
is going to erupt simultaneously.
I know, because when you say that, somebody does. Patrick in Vancouver, Canada.
Bonjour.
Wow, that was.
I
loud
was
for
too
you. That
busy
was
thinking-
weak.
I was thinking about Bort.
Yeah. Hey guys, just wondering, who'd you take rest of the season? Arizona defense or the Cincinnati defense? Schedule seems a little bit better for Cincy, but the Cardinals have been a better defense.
Yeah, I would go Cincy because of the schedule. I mean, when you're streaming defenses, the main thing that you look at is the matchups. I feel like that plays a bigger role than just the quality of the defense themselves. Now that matters, but both of these are good defenses.
I gotta check something out here because Arizona gets to. Why can I not find Arizona on here?
A-R-I.
It's actually under Cardinals. That's why I couldn't find it.
Send in the card.
The Cardinals get to play. Oh, Seattle is week 17. I was going to say a defensive matchup of the Cardinals versus Seattle is actually something that I want a part of. I mean, give me those Russell Wilson sacks.
So you're starting Arizona this week?
Yes,
Yeah. He has been. Their offensive line's been struggling.
is Swiss cheese.
Struggling. All right, where am I here, guys? Sam in Connecticut. Do I start Amari Cooper or Randall Cobb this week?
Amari Cooper, as we talked about, takes on the Vikings, and the Packers are playing the Lions. And it looks like
Give me Cobb.
This is an easy question for
Yeah.
me. Randall Cobb by a mile, just because I expect the Lions to
Stink.
Yeah, to stink as they do, and Aaron Rodgers to show that, hey, relax, people. We can put up huge numbers. And the Vikings games this whole year, with the exception of Week 1, have been low-scoring affairs. They're not, even if the Raiders are playing good and they're hitting on all cylinders, it's not a game where they're going to need to score 35.
They don't need to, but they're gonna. If the Raiders can score, they're gonna score. But
If the Raiders can score, they're going to win that game.
that's very
Because
true.
the Vikings offense seems pretty capped points-wise. All right.
I think I'm gonna take Cooper. I'm gonna take Cooper right here.
I'd water bet that.
I'd water the
You'd
bet.
water the bet out of that?
Yeah. Who wants it?
Let's go.
Waterbet.
I've had enough doubting the Raiders. I'm all aboard.
All right, Guy. There's a guy with a question, and his name is Guy. Going forward and this week, is Drew Brees a better starting fantasy quarterback over Andy Dalton? That is a great question. I think yes.
Drew Brees plays Washington, correct?
This week,
That is
I believe
yes,
you are
that is
correct.
correct. You got Drew Brees, man. Stay in those flames.
But he
Those-
said rest of season.
Oh, I missed that part.
So I believe that Drew Brees will put up more points than Andy Dalton rest of season.
I would tend to agree with you.
And he has, I'll be honest, we kind of did what people do sometimes. We saw the struggles early and the loss of weapons, and thought maybe that would be the end. But I do not believe it is the end. And he had 4 touchdowns last week, coming off a 7 the week before. I just think, I don't know.
They've definitely figured out how to use Ben Watson, which has helped that offense tremendously to
Yes.
use the tight end again.
That's really when it turned around.
I think Drew Brees is a fantastic quarterback to have the rest of the way, but I'm going to go Dalton, not because I don't believe in Drew Brees, but because
not
I have.
because I don't believe. Okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, okay, all right. Caught my own brain up to myself.
We're struggling.
But it's because Andy Dalton gives me no reason this entire year to believe he's not going to be a very, very consistent, high-producing quarterback. So they both are fine options, but I'm going to go with Dalton. I mean, even this last week in our scoring, 6 points, he had 30 points again. He's done that. He's had over 30 points 1, 2, 3, 4 times already.
in our scoring.
Emil in Copenhagen, Denmark. Hi, fantasy footballer. Started my season 0-4 thanks to CJ Anderson. Well, yes, that is. You can thank him. Send him a card. He said he doesn't care. Now I'm on a roll and have won 5 games in a row and would like to keep this going for as long as possible. So who do I start for my flex? Lamar Miller or Chris Ivory? And
Lamar
keep
Miller
in mind,
takes
Lamar Miller plays the
the Eagles.
Eagles this week, and Chris Ivory takes on the Jets. The Dolphins are on the road.
Wait, Chris Ivory
Ivory's-
takes on the Jets?
Wow.
So you're talking about in practice.
Chris Ivory takes on the Bills. The Bills it is.
Miller's in Fuego. I'm sticking with him.
Yeah, I definitely would start Lamar.
You call
Miller.
him in Fuego because even with the off week, he had a bad week.
Yeah, that was
He
that-
still
that was
scored.
New England. Yeah, and he did score. He wasn't crazy on
Okay.
fire, but he was double digits.
Yeah, that's
When-
an interesting one for me.
When 2 out of 3 weeks a guy's over 40 points or so, I'm going to go with that's on fire.
Okay. That's fine. I have 40 points or so. I'll give you that. It was
To a running
it was like
back.
30, but all right. Jim in Tuscaloosa, who is a better keeper? Lev Bell for a first rounder or Arian Foster for a third rounder?
Lev Bell.
Le'Veon Bell.
Lev Bell.
Although I am hearing he probably won't be ready for preseason.
Le'Veon
We'll
Bell.
see what happens, yeah. Because the amount of work that had to be done is pretty significant. So
on the MCL.
correct.
Yeah.
And for a first rounder, I don't know yet if that's good value. I mean, it's so early to tell. But don't just limit yourself to those 2 options. You might have a guy on your team that's more of a 5th, 6th round guy that has better potential this next year that I would rather keep.
That's true.
Both guys are recovering from injury, obviously. I think
Maybe that's a rule in their league. Like you can only keep guys that are out for the year.
season-long injuries.
Yeah.
So Steve Smith is in consideration. Jamal
There's a big
Charles,
list.
Deion Lewis. All right, last question here. Isaiah in Lovington, New Mexico. Tyler Eifert and Jordan Reed both have alternated 30-point weeks for me. Who should I start? Well, obviously the guy that scores 30. Start whoever's going to score 30.
Next question.
All right. Normally John Brown's in my flex, but I can bench him if need be. I think that Well, I'm guessing you have to choose a tight end and a flex, and I don't think I would play them both over John Brown.
This is a tough one. Bengals at home against Texans, and Washington at home against the Saints. Jordan Reed.
Yeah, you can't sit Tyler Eifert after a 3-touchdown game, though.
Honestly, I think you sit. I think this
Brown?
week you sit John Brown because both matchups are too juicy. You can't sit Tyler Eifert, and going up against New Orleans, I mean, Jordan Reed's gonna eat.
Yeah,
I agree. That's true. I think I'm with you guys.
There you go.
I think John Brown. The only thing, it's just John Brown's been targeted so much. You're probably right.
The rare double tight end.
They're up in Seattle, right?
Yes.
All right, I'm with you. Eifert and Jordan Reed.
And I promise you will not sit the wrong one by doing that strategy.
That is true. That 100% of the time. I will say this. We appreciate you listening to the show today. And if you want to get connected with us, there are a lot of ways you can do that. The best way is to go on to jointhefoot.com and join our Foot Clan. The Foot Clan are all the listeners of the show throughout the season that have really made the show what it is. You guys are awesome, and we really appreciate your support. If you didn't know, we are not a part-time podcast. This is a full-time podcast, and I mean that all year round. We produce shows in the off-season and, well, we don't even like calling it the off-season because we don't really believe there is one. You know, you're in dynasty leagues, keeper leagues, the NFL draft. You're preparing. The day the season ends, fantasy-wise, you're preparing for the next season.
We call it the weeks where games are on. Everyone's on bye.
Yeah, the extended bye. There you go. So we do that year-round, and so your support on jointhefoot.com really does help a lot. You can support the show for $1 a month, and I think we did the math on that, and that equates to like a nickel a show.
Yep.
Or less. It might be less the amount of shows we're doing.
I'm going to go down to the Nickelodeon, and I'm going to catch the latest episode.
There you go.
Oh, the fantasy footballers.
A nickel.
Yeah,
see, and you get that type of thing. You can support that type of comedy from Oily Beard. Isn't that
Oily Beard?
Isn't that what the guy called you on that review? Greasy Beard. That's what he called you.
And that is
so we read reviews, right?
Greasy Beard.
And occasionally, you know, we don't get every review in the world is a good review.
I'll grease your beard.
Occasionally, a guy says something like this, which was keep the greasy beard guy from contributing on everything, or something like that. And we enjoy those. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, about a nickel a show is all it takes to support the show for the season. If you want to do $1 a month, so we really appreciate the help on there. There's exclusive content. We are on there answering questions and priority questions on the wall and everything. So it's a lot of fun. We appreciate it.
And there's goals where fun
I
things
thought you said
happen.
gold, because that would be sweet.
There's also gold.
You can find some gold bullion.
We're very close to another goal which would make us hit up Twitter for 3 straight hours, I think.
Yeah, another Twitter Blitz is coming up here soon. Yep. So it's been a very fun year. We got Week 10 coming up, and we will be back with my favorite 2 shows of the week. I always say it. But the starts of the week are coming tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And thank you for listening very much. And
thank you for listening very much.
Yeah, you know, I was trying to find the button. That was a little...
But still, we really like it when people listen a lot.
Jason's like, no, that is perfect grammar.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to another edition of the Fantasy Footballers Podcast. Don't forget to visit us on the web at www.thefantasyfootballers.com and follow us on Twitter @TheFFBallers.